So hi everyone, it's Strategy from the Achievement Squad, coming at you with a 100% walkthrough for the indie title, Titan Chasers. So there's a grand total of 18 achievements throughout this game. Most of them are actually missable, some of them you'll get for progressing as part of the story, but it's a little bit kind of tricky, this one, to do. So the general premise is you are Christine. Your objective is to find Titans throughout the area, and you either need to chase them off, scare them away, just to keep people safe. So you'll be primarily driving around in your car most of the time, looking for the Titans and doing some general activities. I'll be showing you the locations of all the different types of collectibles and the miscellaneous achievements that you've got to get throughout this game. In the first two Titans that we go looking for, first three in this case, I will pick up the majority of the miscellaneous achievements, and these are actually called experiences, and you can select them at any point in time. So the first experience that we go on is looking for the wyvern, which is a type of dragon which is similar to the things that you would see in Skyrim. Okay, so this now kicks off in your hotel room, which is the Grand Rock Hotel, and we're going to grab our keys for the front door from the desk next to the bed. Press X or square to open up and pick things up and interact with objects, and you want to grab these keys. Now make your way around to the edge of the bathroom, and you want to interact with these two light switches that are on the wall, and just to the right of that you want to turn off the water faucet. And then go to the front door, and you want to turn off the light switch by the front door. You'll get yourself the achievement for being an eco-activist. Kind of disagree with this achievement because you left the tap running before that. So once you've done that, you want to exit out of your room. You want to make your way down the stairs that are directly in front of you, and make your way across to the house on the other side. Now go to the right hand side of that house, and you're going to find your first phone booth. You'll want to use that, and you're going to bag yourself an achievement.
Hey Jasper, checking in from Grand Rock Motel. Look out to see me outside if you want to. I knew you don't.
So this is going to set a checkpoint for you. If you ever have to respawn, it's going to bring you back to this location. Now make your way inside to the house, which is actually, well, it's the reception area. Go into the room, and you're going to see Jasper in front of you. He doesn't talk, but you want to grab the keys that are directly in front of him. Pick those up, and then you want to exit out of this room, and we're going to go get in your car. So your car is just across the way, and it's the one with the headlights already turned on. Eco-activist. Open the door, and then you want to get on inside to the car. Now just a couple of things that we've got to do in the car before we go anywhere. So look to your right, and you want to insert the tape into the tape player.
Also, I hope you left your booze somewhere.
Once that's in, you want to turn the switch on the radio on to listen to the music. You'll get yourself your next achievement. I'm going to turn the music off. You can leave it on if you want to, but just to avoid any potential copyright strikes. Now look back to your right, and you want to flip over this card, and you're going to see the map on the other side. Press the left bumper to zoom in, and this is the map of the area. This is the only one you've got. You can't access it from any other menu. Look up to the top, and you're going to see your objective. So in our case, we're going to find the lost wyvern. He is seen in the woodland plains, and we need to get him back to the lighthouse, which is his home. Look to your left, and you want to close the door. You'll then want to start the engine, and then you want to pull on the handbrake. And you want to drive out, so right trigger will make you accelerate, left trigger will make you decelerate, and then you'll also want to click on this SOS button radio on the front of your desk. This will force your character to respawn. So you want to quickly click that, and that's going to bring you back to where you started, and you'll get the achievement called JASPER. Now I'd recommend that you use the rear view mirror to change your camera angle when you're playing this game. It makes life a lot easier for you seeing the car. So to access that, you want to look at the rear view mirror, press X on it, and it's going to pop you outside the car to give you a different view. From here, you want to drive out of the gateway, and you want to make your way down the hill. And as you reach the bottom of the road, you'll want to take a left. Okay, so after
A gas
turning
station.
left,
If I call Jasper
you'll
from
want
the
to
phone booth,
take
this
a
will
quick
become
park of your
allocation
car.
points instead
So
of ground rock.
hop back in,
If I
hit the
stop
handbrake,
somewhere,
and then you want to
remember
open the
why
door.
not stop?
Leave the car, and then you want to make your way over to this building just here. Now you want to make your way around to the left hand side, and on the left hand side you're going to find a phone. You want to use
Hey
that one
Jasper,
as this counts
checking in
towards
from the gas
the
station near the
collectibles.
woodland plains. Thanks for listening.
You then want to return back to your car. Okay, so you're back in your car. You want to make sure that your handbrake is off and that you start the engine up. And you want to drive forward this time. Now, don't make the same mistake that I did, because I'm paying attention to the camera piece here. You actually don't go across the bridge. You're meant to go left before the bridge. So I have to do a little bit of backing up here. I apologize, but we should have taken a left just before the bridge. Okay, so once we're back on the road, we're actually going to go after a miscellaneous achievement, which is for knocking down 50 of these bollards alongside of this road. So as you're following this road to the left, you'll see these little white poles sticking out the ground. You need to knock 50 of them over. You also need to keep following this road eventually until you get to the wyvern. So stay on this road, but at the same time knock over all 50 of these little things on your way, and you will bag yourself an achievement called a driving test passed.
Was it because of Titans?
Okay, so eventually you'll bag yourself the achievement for knocking over 50 of these poles. Once you've done that, you need to get back onto the road and keep following the main road and looking. You know you're in the right direction when you eventually reach a bridge with a dragon on it. So follow the fence in the road and keep going. And now as you arrive at the bridge, you want to stop before you meet the dragon, and we're going to switch on the spotlight. So the spotlight you'll need to make sure that your handbrake is on as well. The spotlight is on the left hand side. You want to hit the button, and then you want to open your car door and you want to get out. On top of the car is your spotlight. You'll want to interact with that, and then you'll want to point the light directly onto the wyvern. It won't do anything, but you'll get yourself an achievement for trying to do that. Now get back into your car, and the first thing you want to do is you want to honk your horn, and that's going to scare off the wyvern. Now we need to follow him.
She probably...
Okay, so once you've scared off the wyvern, you want to turn off your spotlight because you won't be able to turn your car on again until you've done that. And then you want to turn on your engine and close your door. Okay, so once the car is going, you want to drive across the bridge that your dragon was on, switching out into the decent view, and you want to follow this road here, and you want to go up, and you want to follow it to the right. And then as you get further to the top, you'll see this road on the right hand side. It's not very clear. There is an exit sign right next to it. Take a right, and you want to go up here, and you want to follow this one forward. Now you eventually come across the bridge that I drove onto by accident earlier, and you'll look up to the top. You'll be able to see the wyvern up here. So we're going to need to get its attention. So we're going to have to cross back over the bridge, and we're going to make our way to the other side. And now this is probably the longest part of the game, but for one of the miscellaneous achievements we're required to climb to the top of these towers, and clicking on the left stick is not the most functional. So as you come up to this building here, you want to take a left, and you want to park up just next to this little box on your left hand side. This box has a switch on it, and when we throw that switch, that's actually going to cause the blue light to come on from the satellite. So once you've done that, you want to hop out your car, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hit the switch that we just parked by, and that's going to turn on the satellite, and you'll see the beacon coming out. Once the dragon has landed on top of that, make your way over to the tower, and you want to climb up the top of the actual tower as high as you can go. You know when you make it to the top because you'll hear a bit of audio from Christine explaining something about the view or something along those lines.
Quite nice. I wonder why they never allow anyone to go near the structures.
So once you're at the top, you want to make your way back down to the car, and we're going to go after our next light. So once you're in the car, we want to start it up, and we are going to make our way over to our next tower. So to do this, you want to follow the road, and we're going to take a little bit of a detour, and we're going to go off the road and to the left. We want to keep driving forward until you see your next tower, which is directly in front of you. I have a little bit of a nightmare here, but remember, go outside the car. It's a lot easier to see what's kind of happening here. So you want to drive to the, don't drive into the water, but drive along the edge of the river until you see the, like the pylons with the switch. And the switch is on the right here, just on the riverbank. Once you arrived, you want to park up, make sure your handbrake is on so you don't lose your car, and then jump out, and you want to flip the switch on this one. Once you've done that, get back in the car.
Good. The wyvern should be here soon.
Now you want to get back into your car. Okay, take off your handbrake. Make sure your door's closed. Don't drive off like I do with your door open. It's dangerous. And head outside the car. So you'll then want to drive forward. You'll see your next tower in front of you, but do not go up this tower. You've not got this tower just yet. You want to take a left and you want to drive across this bridge just here and go all the way to the other side. And as you come out the other side, you'll want to take a left and be back on a road. You'll want to drive forward and you're going to see the tower that you just lit up in front of you. Hop on out of your car and climb to the top of this one.
Good observation points to judge the terrible Woodville entrance crossroad. Decades ago it has been damaged by a mudslide and still here we are.
Okay, so make your way back to your car after you've climbed that tower and we're going to go after our next switch. So enter the car in a really weird way. Close your door and start the engine and we're going to turn the car around completely. So do a full 180 and we're going to go back onto the road that we were just on a second ago. Once you're back onto the road you want to drive forward, and now you won't be able to make it across that bridge there, so I don't recommend it. Just drive forward until you reach the switch just here and you want to hop on out and throw the lever.
Just a few towers left.
And once that's done you want to hop back into your car. Okay, so from this light switch, we then want to go forward and we're going to go right across the bridge. And we're going to need to backtrack a little bit. I can't recommend using the other little bridge that we went across earlier. It's a bit clunky. So you want to cross over this bridge and we're going to take a right and we're going to go over to the one that has been previously lit up. As you arrive at this next tower, you want to park your car up, you want to hop out, and you want to make your way across to the satellite, and you want to climb your way to the top.
Woodville sign somehow always cuts through the fog, just perfect for the travelers to find it. Sadly, no travelers in this area for many years.
So we now need to backtrack to our car. Now our next one is off in the distance, quite some way away, so we've got a bit of a drive ahead of us, but sticking to the roads tends to be a good way forward. So hop back into your car, and we're going to backtrack past the bridge that we just came across. So reverse your car onto the road if you're off the road. Make sure your handbrake is off as well. Classic case of handbrake always being on. So pull onto the road, take a right, and you want to drive all the way along this road for a little while. And as you come up to this split here, you'll want to drive across towards the tower and not crash into the tree in the process. And as you arrive at this tower, you want to park your car up and you want to get out and climb to the top.
When the weather is good.
Now that you've done this and you've heard the dialogue, go back to your car.
I even saw the light once. Who knows? Maybe it was Clark?
Once you're back at your car, you want to look to the wires across the top and you want to follow them to the right, and that's going to lead you to the next switch, which is by the road. So pop your car on the road and hop out and hit the switch. Okay, so once you're out of your car, you want to figure out where that switch went, and you want to throw it, and that's going to cause the dragon to move to the next one.
Just a few towers left.
And you want to get back into your car. Okay, so once you're back in your car, we're going to want to keep pushing forward. So you want to follow this road that we were originally on for quite some time. We're eventually going to go past a place called Bright City, which is Christine's hometown. So keep driving forward, you'll see the city on your right, and you want to keep following the road through this kind of sandy area. Eventually we're going to hit a point on this road where there are two switches that are grouped together next to the next two satellites. So keep following this path forward. You'll go past a boat and a couple of other towers that we'll engage with later in the game, but drive all the way to the point of where you see these two switches on your left hand side.
All around the sea since I was a teen, until the
You'll know when you're in the right area because you'll be required to drive across a bridge.
I lived in Bright City for years, but never went to the sea. Now I can see what I've missed.
So once you've arrived, you want to park your car up and you want to hop on out. Make sure your handbrake's on. So jump out the car and then you want to look to your left. You'll see the two switches here. We want to start off by hitting the left switch to light up the dish that is directly in front of us. You will want to follow the overhead wire to that satellite and you want to climb up to the very top.
Smell the ocean from here.
So once you're at the top, you want to run back to the switches.
It's something better than fog or rain for the most part of the year.
And as you get back to your car, you'll want to hit the switch that is on the other side, and that is going to light up the dish that is directly in front of you. make your way across that dish and you want to climb up to the top. Once you're at the top, you want to go back down and return to your car.
Funny enough, since I was a kid, I only saw it there, at the river's delta. Not a lot of coast guarding around here, I suppose.
Okay, so once you're back in your car and your engine is up and running, we want to drive to the left of the tower that we just previously lit up. So you're going to go off-roading a little bit here, go across the grass, and we want to just drive straight forward, and eventually you will reach the tower. Once you reach the tower, hop on out and climb on up. Once you've made it to the top, climb back down and go to your car.
But I'd prefer not to see it at all.
Once your car is up and running, you want to follow the overhanging wires through the woods area. And once you kind of get to the end, this one's a little bit further away from the others, you'll find your next switch, which is actually just right by the road. Use the tree to stop if you need to. Hop on out and you want to turn that switch on.
One step closer to home.
Okay, so once you have turned on that switch, jump back to your car, and you want to take a little bit of a left, and the actual road is just next to the switch. So start up your car and get onto the road, and you want to follow the road straight, and we're going to be going towards that light that is directly in front of us. So take a quick left and then a right, and that's going to put you back on the road. Okay, so as you're coming up along the road, you're actually going to see your next tower on the right hand side. Let's change the camera angle just because it's a little bit awkward. Just pull up beside it and then hop on out and climb all the way to the top.
I wish we could hear the ocean.
Once you've made it to the top, make your way back down and jump into your car again.
On the coast and hear only this stupid city noise all the time.
Okay, so once you're back in the car, you want to follow the overhead wires to the left, and once you get to the end, you'll find your switch just by the bottom of the hill here. Hop on out and you want to flip that one on.
few towers left.
Okay, so once you've flipped that switch, your next dish is at the top of this tower. It is a bit of an awkward one to get to, but nonetheless it's quite straightforward. So once the dragon has landed on the dish behind you, you want to jump back in your car, and we're going to go up the hill. Now, don't do it the way that I try to do it, or if you do it the way I do it and you get lucky, congratulations. So hop in your car, and we're actually going to go to the left of the switch just here, or you can attempt to drive up the hill like I do and it doesn't quite go to plan. Okay, so as you're driving up the hill, look towards the dish and eventually you'll see the switch that is just directly ahead of you. Once you see that one, park up your car, make sure you put your handbrake on, and then you want to jump out and you want to flick the switch. Okay, so once you're out the car, make your way up the hill and you want to hit the switch, and that is going to turn on the next beacon. We're actually going to go all the way up to the top of this hill and we're going to climb up the last tower. Once you reach the top of this tower, you'll bag yourself an achievement for climbing all of these.
See the lighthouse, the silent peak. A lot of bad memories around here. After all these years, Silent Peak Lighthouse still makes me feel uneasy.
Now once you have the Ubi achievement, you want to make your way down the stairs again. And once you reach the bottom of the stairs, we're not actually going to go back to the car this time. We're going to do a little bit different. So you want to make your way around the tower. I get a little bit lost here. But you want to go up to the top of the hill that is directly in front of you. And you'll see the lighthouse. This is the home of the wyvern. But we're not going to actually be doing anything with the lighthouse. We'll want to follow the hill around to the left, and eventually you're going to get to the other side of this hill and you'll be able to see a memorial for somebody that has passed away. So make your way around the cliff.
When I was 10, we were hiking with my best friend.
Once you're close enough, you'll see this little glowing kind of thing at the bottom here. You want to make your way down that cliff, and when you reach the bottom, make your way over to the mural, and you'll bag yourself an achievement for finding this one. Now once you have that achievement, we want to make our way back up to the tower. We're going to go to the other side of the tower and back to the switch and the car. We want to go to the switch first of all. So you see the blue light beaming up into the air in a moment. That is where we're headed. Okay, so go past the tower and you want to keep going down the hill into where you parked the car. And when you arrive at this switch that you hit the last one, you want to throw that one more time to actually turn off the beacon. And the wyvern is going to fly over to the lighthouse, which is his home. Once you've done that, you want to make your way back to the car.
Finally return to Grind Rock to sleep.
And once you're in the car, we're actually going to hit the respawn function. So enter the car and you want to click on this little radio, click the red dot called respawn or SOS, and that is going to teleport you back to your last checkpoint, which is at the petrol station just outside the hotel.
Every time I feel dizzy after this.
You also get the achievement Wyvern Hander for making sure that the wyvern gets home. So once you're back at this petrol station, you'll want to start your car up one more time. Okay, and we need to turn around from here. So the hotel, because we've got to go back to our room. Take a left, crash into the fence if you need to. And you'll want to make your way up this hill, and you'll want to take a right, and you're going to go up the path that's just here, and you're going to keep following it until you get to the very end, and you'll be back in a parking lot. Once you're in that parking lot, you want to hop out of your car, and you're going to return back into your room. Your room is on the left hand side as you come in here, and I think it's like the third or fourth door across. Once you've done that, jump out your car, hit the sleep button on the bed, and you'll be done for your first Titan session.
Finally, another night at Grand Rock.
Okay, so we are now on to the second wave of Titan chasing. So we're going to go after 2 Titans this time. This section is a little bit shorter, but I'm also going to show you the location of the remaining phones, and also get in the car and face the seat directly, because that's what you do. So once you're in your car, start it up. So there are 2 Titans to find, and one of them is located sort of nearby in the Winland Plains, and the other is down northeast of the Woodville area. So boot up your car, switch out to the camera view, and you want to drive out of the hotel and follow the track down. Forgot to take the handbrake as well. It seems to be a little bit buggy when you first get in the car for the first time. So exit out, drive all the way down the road. And as we get here, we want to take a left, and we want to drive down, and we want to go across the bridge that is directly in front of us. As you make it to the other side, you want to take a left and go past the bush, and you want to follow the road all the way around. And you want to follow this track that you're on for some time. So as you get to the end of this road, you're going to want to take a left at the T-junction just here, and you want to drive forward, and you're eventually going to come back to the Wyvern's bridge that you were earlier, and you'll want to park your car up, and we're going to go across that little hut that is just on the side here. So exit out of your car and make your way over to the hut that is on the right hand side of the bridge. So as you make your way up to this house, there is a phone booth on the outside. You'll want to interact with that one to set your checkpoint.
From the river house.
That's also the phone number 3 out of 7. Make your way back to your car. I think my character really struggles to get into the car correctly, but once you're in, you want to boot it up and close the door and pop the view out. Okay, and then we need to drive forward, and as we come across this bridge, we're going to want to take a right, and we want to hold the right and follow the fence as we kind of go through this. Now as you're going through this area, you're going to eventually come across the Titan. There's a big tall thing with bright glowing white eyes. It takes a little while to get there, but drive forward. And eventually you will encounter him along the way. You can see him, he's just out of the bounds area. Once you see him, park your car up, press the spotlight button, open your door and jump out, and you want to interact quickly with your spotlight on the top. Find where he is, and you want to point the spotlight directly into his eyes. That's going to upset him, but once you've done that, that's going to ward him off from the area. And that is your first Titan in this section moved on. Okay, so once that's done, you want to get back into your
That was
car.
easy. Now
And you'll
another
need to
one.
make sure you turn off your spotlight after you do get into your car awkwardly. Turn off the spotlight on the left hand side so that you can actually start your engine. We're actually going to go and backtrack along the same road that we're just on. So we want to turn the car around 180 degrees and we're going to follow the road back to the bridge where we met the wyvern. So turn around, follow the fence and the road. Fence is on the left, and then the road, yeah, just stick to that until you reach the bridge. Now as we come up on the bridge, we want to continue straight forward and we want to go up the hill slightly to the right, but we want to stay going straight at this point and we want to ignore the right turn. So continue going forward and eventually you're going to arrive at an area where you'll see a bright beam of light coming out of a train, and that is where we would need to stop for a moment. Now once you arrive at this train, you can actually just pass over the track to the other side because we'll need to go that way to get to the next Titan. So drive over the train track. You'll also see a little kind of broken barn or cabin to your left. So hop out of your car and make your way over to that cabin. And we are going to grab our next phone. This is phone number 4 out of 7. It is inside the building and it is hanging up on the right hand wall. Once you've engaged with that phone, make your way back to the car.
I feel chills around here. Something about this place. Never mind.
Okay, so once you're back in your car, you'll want to take a left and we're going to follow this road for as far as we can until we reach an area where the road is kind of all broken up and shattered to pieces. So follow this dirt track and eventually get to this kind of beach-like area, and then we're going to go after our next Titan. Okay, so as we start to arrive in this area, you'll see these broken off road bits. Kind of just ignore them and go past them and go up to the fence that is just in front of you. Once you arrive at this fence, you want to hop on out. Make sure that you've got your spotlight turned on. You can actually do that from the outside of the car as well, by the way. And then you want to grab your spotlight and you'll see the Titan is on the left. You want to shine the light into his eyes until he eventually goes away. Now that we've done that, we've got the 2 Titans. We're going to go after the remaining telephones for this particular section, and we're going to bag ourselves the achievement for using all the phones in the area. So once the Titan is left, you want to jump back into your car.
Going back where they should be. As my father said, that seems like a huge problem can have a small solution. Now I get it.
Okay, so hop on back in your car and we're going to want to turn that around 180. So turn off your spotlight as well, because otherwise your car's not going to work. Boot up your engine and then you want to put it in reverse. And then we're going to follow the road back until we hit the train station. So turn around 180 and follow the road that you came in on until you reach the train. Once you reach the train, you want to take a right and go over the tracks again, and then on the other side where you find the road, you want to take a left, and we're going to follow this one. So our next telephone is actually in the middle of a beach area. So once you're in your car and you've taken your left at the train station, you'll just want to follow this road straight for as long as you can, and eventually will arrive at that next collectible. Okay, so we're now arriving at the beach. Just underneath the light under the beach is your phone. So hop out your car, you want to use it, and that's going to set your checkpoint. And we're going to then need to jump back into the car and go on to the next one. But this is number 4 out of 7.
Hey Jasper, checking in from the Silent Peak. This phone booth in the middle of nowhere is a bit creepy. But what's normal anyway?
Okay, so now that you're back in your car, you'll want to make your way to the road that is just kind of going back out of the beach. It's just opposite it's just straight in front of you from the direction the way you were going with your car originally. Once you're on here, you want to follow this road yet again. Now you'll know you're on the right track when you pass one of the bridges. You don't go across the bridge, just pass it. Keep making your way forward, and eventually at the end you're going to see another satellite. You'll know that you're in the right area when the satellites start to appear. And as you get to the end of this road, you'll notice a sign on the right called Woodville, which glows in the dark. And you'll see that the road is also out. Ignore that fact. You want to take a right and you're going to go up towards the Woodville sign. And we're going to grab our next phone. We're also going to get a miscellaneous achievement at this time. So once you get to the petrol station, hop on out, and you're going to want to make your way over to it and use the phone booth that is outside.
Hey Jasper, checking in from the gas station outside of Woodville. Doing good. Thanks for asking.
Okay, so once you're back in your car, you want to drive into this town, and as you're coming through this town, you're going to see a church directly in front of you,
Woodville.
and you'll get the prompt saying my parents still live here. When you see the church, take a right, and your parents' house is the house that is behind the church. It is the one just on your left here. So once you arrive at this location, you want to park up your car and get out. You'll then want to make your way up to the front door, and you'll want to knock on it to unlock your achievement, Home Sweet Home. Make your way back to your car.
It's forbidden to react to any outside noise or voices. Another time then.
And once you're back in your car, we're going to go after the next telephone that we're looking for. So once you've got it all started up, you want to make sure that you're looking out. You want to go back past the church, and we want to take a left at the T-junction by the church, and this is going to steer us in the right direction of getting out this area. So take this left, you want to continue up the hill, continue through all the housing area, and once you get up to this sign, you'll want to take a right at the T-junction. You'll then want to follow this road until you reach your next junction. You'll need to take a left here and go across the bridge. And you'll want to follow the signs to the oil fields. So as you're coming up this hill, you'll see signposting for the oil fields. You want to go past the Grand Motel, and as you reach the kind of end of this particular road, you'll see that you can split off and go to the right. We want to take this to the right, and you're going to see a light in the distance. This is your next petrol station or gas station, depending on where you're from. And your next telephone collectible is in this area. So park your car up and get on out. Make your way over to the station, and it is on the left hand side of the building. Once you've got that, you'll get your achievement, and you want to make your way back to your car because we're going to return to the hotel.
Good for you can feel the smell.
To get back to the hotel, we want to turn around, so spin this bad boy around, take a left, and knock things over in the process. So we're going up, we want to go past the previous signs, we're back on the main road now. And as you're coming through this area, for some reason my car is going incredibly slow, and as you're going through this area, you'll come back up to this two signs here. You want to take a left, and then you want to follow this road up to the very top, and that's going to put you back in the motel. You'll want to jump into the into your room and sleep to move yourself through to the next level.
Finally. Another night at Grand Rock Motel. What a life.
Okay, so we're now going after Titan number 3, and this one is a fiddly Titan to get. It is a giant flying whale over by Bright City. So let's get this show on the road. Exit out of your room and hop into your car. Once you're in your car, we are going to want to start it up, and we want to switch out to the external camera mode. Now, to get this Titan to actually move, you're going to need to use your spotlight, and it's going to lure to that spotlight. So this is over by Bright City, and we need to get it down to the train that we drove past in the last chapter. So let's get out of here. So you want to drive out of the motel and you want to go down to the end of the road, and we're going to take a right this time. So after taking your right, you want to continue along this road, and we're going to stay on the left hand side, because as you come into this area you will see that you can either go off to the right to the oil field, or if you go to the left you'll go across to the Bright City. That's where we want to head, so stay on the left hand side. You'll know when you're on the correct road because these white walls appear around the edge of the road to stop you from falling off, and there's a big glowing city in the background. So follow this track. So the mechanic behind this is that you've got to use your spotlight, and the flying whale will follow your spotlight. So that's how you get it to move. What happens is the whale will hit a particular location, and it's just going to fly around it in a circle. So to do this, you've got to open up your car, and you've got to switch on your spotlight, jump out of your car and interact with the spotlight on top of the roof. And you've got to point the spotlight directly onto the nose of the whale to get its attention. And what you'll see is that the whale will follow your spotlight.
Hey,
so you need to guide it to your end location with the spotlight. So this is going to require you to get in and out of your car a lot. And sometimes the whale will go off path a little bit, but try not to worry. So finish interacting with your spotlight, get back in your car. You'll then want to turn your car around, so spin it around. Recommend obviously being outside of the car so you can see the whale a bit better. You can't see it very well from the inside. And you want to drive down back underneath it, and you're going to kind of rinse and repeat this process. So once you're underneath where the whale is flying, we're going to steer it onto the next spot. So once you hit that location, you want to stop, and you want to get out of your car. You want to switch on your spotlight and do the same thing again, and we're going to point the whale down to the very end of this road. Now once you've done that, you want to get back into your car. So unfortunately this is just a case of a lot of rinse and repeat. It can actually be mildly frustrating at times, so try to stay on top of it, but get the easiest way is to make sure the whale follows the road. So drive down to the end of this road, and we're going to start making our way back to the motel whilst luring the whale at the same time. So as you come down into this section, you want to make sure that it goes further down that road. Now as you can see, this part is actually incredibly fiddly to get right. I'm trying to get the whale to go down to the end of the road, but he doesn't seem to be following. If it gets too bad and you actually end up losing the whale, you can actually just quit back out and restart the chapter. Not ideal, but it's certainly possible. So you want to lead the whale back towards the motel. Now, unfortunately, here my whale went off a little bit off path because he follows the spotlight sometimes into the background, which makes it a real pain. I have to kind of go back and drag him in the other direction, so I apologize about this. It gets a little bit painful for me, but you need to be steering the whale away from the motel now and down towards the bridge, the high bridge which the wyvern landed on earlier. Okay, so once the whale is down at the high bridge, we're going to need to lead it to the left of the bridge on the opposite side. So drive over the bridge, and when you see this bush, we want to go down to the left, but we want to take the whale with us. You'll then also need to go to the left yourself. So go down the road past the bush, and we're going to start following this dirt track here. Now you'll need to keep following this dirt track until you reach a T-junction. That includes bringing the whale along for the ride as you're going through this. Okay, so once you reach this crossing, we're actually going to need, so this T-junction, not a crossing, we're actually going to need to make our way to the right. Now there's a little bit of a cut here because I had some problems with my car. As you can see, it gets stuck. And I had some problems with the whale too. So I'm now back in action after SOSing my way out. And I'm going to need to steer the whale to the right of this T-junction. So following the road still, point the beam of light at the whale to get its attention, and then you want to push it up up the road to the right hand side. I have a bit of difficulty finding him, but once I do, I'm able to steer him in that direction. This is going to start pushing him towards the train. Once you actually have the whale engaged with the train, Christine will inform you of this. So this can be a little bit tricky. Sometimes it will work for you straight away.
So this car can't work
However, for some others, it's some of the cases that I experienced in my practice runs, that wasn't quite the case. You had to spend a little while fiddling around, pointing the light at the light to get the whale to kind of connect. So as I drive up here, I think this is my last time of steering the whale's direction, and he goes eventually into the right spot that I need him to go into.
It seems he likes the train more than my spotlight. They said to improvise from here. Let's see what's next.
Okay, so once that bit of dialogue goes off, we're now good to keep driving. So we want to follow the track up. And we want to follow it around to the right. And eventually you're going to make your way back to the train next to the checkpoint from earlier in the game. Now, once you arrive at the train station, you want to park your car up, make your way over to the train, and there is a box on the right hand side that you're going to need to stand on. Once you stand on top of that box, you want to interact with the cog that is on the side. That is going to cause the train to run off into the distance. So hop up onto your box.
Wow, the train is actually moving. It has been staying here for years, and now I launched it. That's something to be proud of.
Okay, so the whale is going to follow the train, and we're going to need to follow the train too. So get back into your car and start it up. And once you've done that, you want to drive your car onto the tracks. So boot up the thing. Crash into a pole. And then drive up onto the tracks, and you want to follow it to the left. You want to go past the barn, so the barn will be on your right hand side. You'll hear a bit of information around the train crashing. Actually, what you want to do here is just follow the track all the way down to the end until you find the train, and you'll bag yourself the achievement for freeing the whale.
I hope they won't take this from my salary. The whale went home though, so I can.
Now that you've done that, we're going to actually use the SOS function, and that's going to teleport us back to the hotel. So it's going to make for a little quick trip.
Jasper, I'm stuck.
So clicking the SOS button is going to return us back to the car parking spot outside of apartment.
Every time I feel.
And now we're going to go after our next missable achievement. So we're actually going to go find Jasper and where he's hanging out on day 3. So to do that, and apologies for the cut because I actually missed the achievement, we want to boot up our car and we want to exit out of the hotel through the door on the right. At the end of this part, you want to turn left and you want to drive straight across the bridge. At the end of the bridge, take a left past the bush, go down the hill. You want to take the track that is just here and you want to follow this track for as far as possible until you reach the T-junction again. Once you reach the T-junction, you want to take a left and get stuck on a weird thing like I do, and you want to follow this forward until you get to the hut in the bridge. The hut is on your right, the bridge is just there. We're going to go over towards the hut, but not in it, to the right of it, and we're going to see Jasper on his boat. We just want to walk out there just so that we can see him, and the closer you get, say you'll bag yourself an achievement for finding Jasper and where he hangs out on his day off. You'll see his car parked here. And then he's just in the water. Walk up to the edge of the water and it'll trigger some dialogue and your achievement.
Jasper. Enjoying your night.
Once you've done that, you want to go back to your car and you want to press the SOS button one more time, and that's going to teleport you back to the hotel. When you're back at the hotel, just go into your room and sleep for chapter number 4.
Jasper, I'm stuck. I need evacuation. Every time I feel dizzy after this. Oh, is it the rainy season already? Great.
Okay, so we're now on to our last titan, which is the easiest of the lot. It's the Kraken. You want to make your way out to your car. We are going to go looking for this guy. He is down at the beach, like all Krakens should be. So if you zoom in into your note at the top, you'll see he's at Rusty Beach, which is near to the Bright City kind of area, next to the things that we were looking at, the satellite dishes. Sorry. Okay, so let's head out of here, and we want to take a left at the end of the road by the motel. As you come out of here, we want to take a right by the petrol station and before the bridge, and we're going to follow this dirt track here for as long as we possibly can.
The giant Kraken doesn't react to light for some reason and should be casted away with alarm sirens. I hope my ears will still be intact after that.
And as you come around to Bright City, you're going to see just ahead of you, it'll start to render in, is the Kraken. You'll see the tentacles in the background. and you're going to see this
Towers on the
pylon
sea line are
directly in
probably
front of it.
signal towers
So you want
with
to park your
sirens,
car by
and
this
the one
pylon
near the
and you want to
road
get
is a
out,
control
and you're going to
tower.
want to climb the ladder that is on the inside.
I lived in Bright City for years, but never went to the sea. Now I can see what I've missed. That's a lame way to park your trailer. I hope the owner is alright.
I want you to find all physics whilst you're climbing up the ladder backwards. You want to hit the switch that is at the top of the ladder, and that is going to enable the tower number 1.
Now the second one.
Okay, and now we need to go back down and back into our car. And now we're going to want to drive towards the larger pylon, but we want to go past it into the other side of the boat. So this, the larger pylon directly in front of us now. Follow it around, you'll see the wire, and you want to keep following that wire to the end. And as you reach this part here, you want to hop out and you want to climb to the top of this ladder, and you're going to hit off the switch at the top. Once you've thrown the switch, you want to go back down again.
Now I need to pull the switch on the control tower.
Okay, so once you're back in your car, we want to turn it around and we're going to go back to the larger tower. So that's the one in the middle by the boat. This is the one just here. Once you've done that, you want to get out and you want to climb to the top, and you are going to want to hit the switch that's at the top of this one, and you're going to want to let the cutscene play out. This is going to take a little while, so I'll regroup with you in a moment. But yeah, climb to the top of the ladder, hit the switch, and you'll be good to go.
Wait, I heard this siren from my apartment in Bright City every once in a while. Now I know what it meant. What's he doing? I have no instructions for this. Wait, what? What happened? How did I end up here? I need to check in with Jasper.
Okay, so you're now back in your car and you're back at the hotel. You want to get out of your car and you want to go check on Jasper. So you want to make your way into the reception. It's just on the left of your car. You'll find that he's gone. There'll be a note on the desk explaining that he stiffed you up a little bit. Once you've done that, make your way back to your car.
We'll think about it in the car.
Are you okay?
What the... Christine? I must have hit my head too hard.
It's okay. I'm just here to help. Can't be a silent observer anymore.
Well, okay, whatever. Can't be too surprised after flying whales and other stuff. But still, I don't know what to do now.
Can I suggest some options for you?
Sure, go ahead.
You can go back to Bright City and continue to live your life in your apartment as you were living it before. Independent and alone.
I see the appeal of it now. Yeah.
Or you can visit your parents in Woodville. They surely will host you for a while until you get it together.
Sounds reasonable too.
Or you can spend some time with Jasper if you know where he lives. He wouldn't mind, I'm sure.
I can picture myself there for a few weeks, sure.
Or finally, we can go to the Iron Coast together and figure it out while watching the ocean.
Unexpected, but interesting.
It's your choice. So drive wherever you
And once this is over, you'll have a little discussion
Okay,
with
stand
your inner
beside and go
voice,
somewhere.
and we can pick multiple options to go visit. In my case, I choose Bright City. There is no wrong answer to this. You'll go wherever you go and you'll always get the last achievement. So I exit the motel and I take the right and I drive along this road. The reason for picking Bright City, it's the closest. So if you choose a different location, let me know how the ending plays out for you in the comment section down below. So drive forward and I'm going to go take a left and then I'm going to follow this road all the way up to Bright City. Once I've done that, this will end the game and bag me the final achievement for the base game. Now there was an additional kind of add-on to this that was, because it was originally a PC game, called the Halloween event, so you'll need to boot back into your game and join up on that section in a moment.
Back to my normal life. No more weird stuff. Bye, Christine. I'll go on my own from here.
Okay, so we're back at the main menu and we want to go into the Halloween experience. So it's a Halloween special, and pretty much the essence of this one is just a sequence of collectibles. You'll spawn outside your parents' house, and there's a note on your wall about finding jack-o'-lanterns. Yeah, it's a case of just finding all of these pumpkins dotted around the place. It's the Halloween special. So from your front door, you want to turn it around and you want to cross over to the other side of the road. You can see the pumpkin. It sprays a load of fireworks out of the top. Once you get close, it's going to shoot off up into the air, and that's how you know that you've collected it. So the next one is to your left, and you want to make your way down to the bottom of the street. And as you kind of come down the street, you'll see the big glaring moon. But as you get to the bottom, you'll see on the street, just by this mailbox just here, your second pumpkin. That'll fly up into the air once you've got it. Okay, and your third pumpkin is actually behind this in the into the graveyard at the top of the hill. So once you have the pumpkin that is by the mailbox, continue past that mailbox into the trees, and as you kind of come forward, you'll see these two pillars here. These are the entrance to the graveyard. Your first pumpkin is on the left, shooting out some more fireworks. Grab that one.
An old Woodville cemetery.
And then the next pumpkin is actually behind that, across the opposite side of the graveyard. So once you're done here, you'll want to walk through the graveyard and go to the right hand side. And you'll see the pumpkin just atop of the wall just here. Once you have that one, we're going to go after the next one, and that is in the broken house that is just directly in front of us. So exit out of between the two pillars, and you want to make your way all the way down to the end. So come out, walk forward, you'll see the broken house, and as you get closer to the broken house, you'll see the signal. And inside the house, you're going to find your next pumpkin.
Once during another lockdown, her house was caught on fire somehow.
Okay, and then from that shed to your left is your next one that you're going to go after. So look to your left, and down at the bottom of the hill, you're going to see your next one. So you want to walk forward a little bit, and you'll see kind of like this glowing section just in front of you. It's actually a chair with a radio on top of it, and you want to make your way over to that one. Your next one
This was
is
her
in
favorite
the
spot when
trees
weather
just
was
behind
good.
it in the purple section.
She would listen to her favorite radio show and wave to the cars passing by. But her chair was empty, so we went.
So from that chair, we want to walk forward. You'll see the purple, and directly underneath the purple tree is your next jack-o'-lantern.
A weeping willow. People hang themselves.
And then
there
our
during
next
the
one is actually
vacation.
a little bit
And
harder
we
to
were
spot,
afraid
but it
the
is
witch would do the
inside
same. But we found only some strange
inside a
light
shed.
bulb up
You
on the
can
tree.
pick it up from
And it
outside
still
of the shed
works
without
20 years
realizing, so it's a
later.
little bit confusing this when I do it. Apologize, I picked it up by accident as I was doing this. So from here you want to walk forward, and you want to come between the trees just ever so slightly to the right. As you come down this hill, you're going to see a shed that is directly in front of you. You'll see the sparks from the pumpkin coming out of the roof of the house. You'll want to enter this building, and as you go around, I picked it up here by
We thought
accident,
Woodville Witch
but the
would go
pumpkin
here
is
after her
just in
house
this
burned.
section here.
But we found only a patch
So
of
then we
her
need to
hair
exit
hanging
out of
on
the
south
house.
entrance.
And in case you didn't notice that the character is also giving us dialogue, which gives us clues to the location of the next pumpkin. Okay, and then from that house, you want to turn around and you want to look to the top of the hill. You'll see a water tank in the distance. You want to make your way all the way up to that water tank, and directly in front of it is your next pumpkin.
We were pretty much lost at this point, but then saw the lights of the diner. Woodville Witch and her husband owned it when they were young, but it was abandoned for years. So we decided to check it.
And then from here, we're going to go to our next location. So to do this, we want to go to the left of the water silo, go down the hill, and as you meet the road just here, you want to hop over the obstruction, but make your way down the slope. There's actually two pumpkins in this area. You'll see this old gutted out diner, and you want to make your way to the front door. And as you come in through the front door, you'll see a pumpkin straight in front of you, and then directly to the left of that is your next pumpkin on the end of the stand. And we're going to need to go out through the hole in the wall that is just on our left here.
The mayor was put behind bars for the corruption, and his renovation plan never went through. So we still have bumpy roads and abandoned diner. We were pretty sure we saw some figure running south from the diner.
Now this next one is a fair old walk to get to. It's not a short stroll. So we need to exit out of the hole in the wall. And as you come up, you're going to see the kind of like a pylon straight in front of you. You'll want to walk past that one, but you'll see a light in the distance. You'll need to make your way towards that light. It's going to take you a little while to get there, but the pumpkin is on top of the stand next to the light.
To celebrate his road renovation plan, Bright City Mayor planted this rare exotic tree, but it withered the same year he was condemned. So new authorities had the lights installed.
And then from that light stand, we're going to go after the final pumpkin, and this is our last achievement in the game for finding all of the pumpkins. This one is down on the beach, so it's directly behind the light that we've just picked up the pumpkin from. To get this one, you want to move forward, and you want to continue past the dish that is directly in front of you. But as you start walking forward into this area, you'll notice that something starts to render in the background a little bit in a bit of a weird way. It gets more clearer as you get closer. It's actually, I think it's Jasper. But as you get kind of closer to the head, you'll see that there's a pumpkin on the chair in the distance by the head. Keep walking forward, and as you actually get closer, you'll see the pumpkin, and that is the last one, and that is going to bag you the achievement for finding all of the pumpkins. I've been JASPER from the Achievement Squad. If you find this guide useful, drop us a like, comment and subscribe, and happy hunting.
So she was declared dead, and another empty coffin was buried in the old cemetery. Now for the last time.